Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at. No cap. If the Brody is speaking, it's all facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered a leash. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty. Listen, still trying to get used to everything. All right, still trying to get used to everything, man. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go ahead and like and subscribe. You already know what it is. Now, listen, I know a lot of you guys like my theme song. Listen, man, I'm late. I was late. I cut it short. You know, I already be late with my time, right? So it's like 9:30. I be coming on here like 9:38, 9:40. Can't be on here too long because a lot of you Bama's got church in the morning, just like I got church in the morning. Right, so I gotta get in and get out. You feel me? That's why I had to cut the intro to just, you know, the theme song. You feel me? So it is what it is. Shout out to my boy Blue. Finally wore this jank. It's been in my closet for I don't know how long. I thought this was a perfect opportunity to throw it on because half the stuff on here came from Blue. Right, so I'm like, might as well. Might as well rock it. Now, listen, we talk about the Porter Report. You already know what it is. And we're going to talk a little Tennessee State, right? We're going to talk a little Tennessee State. But first, let's get into today's show. I ain't going to hold y'all up anymore. All right? Listen, it's hot in these streets.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with them. Walking.
Listen. Now, let me say this, right? I like Marquey Adams. I really did. I really do. I still do. I think he's a quality quarterback when you're talking about HBCU talents and HBCU quarterbacks, right? I think he's a high-level talent. Now, when I heard this, my mind is telling me, my mind initially went to Deion, right? Like, and I hate to say that, but my mind initially went to Deion. And what I mean by that is because when Deion was at Jackson, he always had a saying, I don't lose anything I want to keep. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Deion used to have a slogan that says, I don't lose people I want to keep, right? Now, I think this also applies to Marquey Adams, right? I really believe, now again, great talent. I think he's a great talent, right? But I do believe that Deshaun Jackson has the moxie and has the wherewithal and the know-all to really be like, nah, I'm good, and to really let him go. Now, there's some other players that are in the mix, and from what I heard, is not specifically all quarterback stuff. There might be some surrounding issues that had transpired that Marquey Adams had to leave. That's what I've been hearing. That's a little word on the street for y'all, right? I'm not here to bash the kid because I don't know anything specific about his issues or what transpired. All I know is I got a text message that said, hey, it's not just because he lost the quarterback battle that he was in contention for. It's some other things outside of that. So that being said, still does not take away from Marquey Adams being a transcendent type of quarterback. And if I remind anybody, if you want to go watch Marquey Adams, if you want a game right? If you want a game that you're just like, yo, I want to see what this kid's about, go check out the Hawaii game. Go look at the Hawaii game last year and tell me Marquey Adams is not the best player on the field. I'm just saying. Go watch the Hawaii game and tell me that Marquey Adams was not the best player on the field from Hawaii and Delaware State. That's how talented this kid is. And I mean, he go from 0 to 60 like that. All right. Very, very, you have a thing where you have an athlete and then you have a quarterback, right? And then you have quarterbacks who are athletes. He's on the latter, right? Like an athlete would have been Southern's former quarterback, Bashawn McCray. Straight athlete, right? Not much of a quarterback, straight athlete. I think Marquey Adams gives you a good blend of both high quality athlete and a serviceable quarterback. He's not all world, right? He's not, freaking Tom Brady. He's not Shedeur Sanders. He's not Davius Richard. He's not that type, but he can get the job done passing, and he can get the job done with his feet and his legs. So if you're in the right offense and you maneuver it the right way, I don't see why he can't be transcendent. I think that's a little tough. He can be he can be a high quality player. He could be an offensive player of the year. I'll say that. He could definitely be an offensive player of the year. Now, with everything going on, and this is the Porter Report, you got to know who's in the market. See, now you're getting into who's buying, right? What is a good landing spot for said player, right? Now, for me, and with all the news swirling around, right? And as always, thank you, Delaware State entering the portal, 2 years left. Zach, my boy Blue, talks about massive loss for Delaware State. Marquey Adams announces he will enter the NCAA transfer portal. Adams was an FCS freshman All-American in 2023. Where will his new home be? We shall see. Now, I'm dropping bars today because that was all rhyming. Now, who's buying? That is the question for today. Who's buying and who is in the market for said person, right? Who's in the market for said person? Now, listen, there's a few teams I really, really, really feel that should be blowing this man's phone up, right? And I've already seen one of these teams. Reach out, and that's Southern University, right? Which is smart. Jalen, whatever his name is, the Woods kid, you don't really know what you have in him. You know what you have in Marquey Adams. You know how he can be used. Listen, I'm going to keep it a buck. I know people want to talk about the Trey Holly thing. I'm going to talk about it real quick. First of all, I think it's a great pickup for Southern because Mark Fredericks don't know nothing but inside zone, okay? Listen, PV fans were telling me, shout out to Lionel, shout out to PV, shout out to D-Black, shout out to them guys. Listen, that's all they were telling me, Scotty. Inside run, inside zone, inside. And I'm like, nah, I've seen some stuff. And they're like, wow, you picked the one game that he wants to be, different. But listen, watching Mark Fredericks at Southern is like watching it's like watching like a 3-year-old try to put like a circle in a square, and it's heartbreaking. Like, it's just like, bro, like, come on, find the circle. Like, Mark Fredericks, I know I'm going off script right now, but I'm telling you, okay. Southern fans are going to say, well, Scotty, we did this. Scotty, we made it here. But I am telling you, Mark Fredericks is probably the most mundane offensive play caller in this. Like, him and Chris Barnett are like neck and neck, but Chris Barnett, he'll do something different than inside zone. Like, it is literally Mark Fredericks does inside zone left, an inside zone right. Now, I think Trey Holly works for that because they're probably going to hand him the ball 20 to 25 times and figure it out as they go, right? So if Trey Holly is what Trey Holly was at LSU, he's a great pickup. But I'm telling you this is the stuff. Even with Jackson State and Irv Mulligan, and knowing that Irv Mulligan was the battling ram, you have to have the offensive line to push people around and to move people. If you don't, it does not matter if you run inside zone left. It does not matter if you run inside zone right. You're going to be in the backfield tackled. So again, again, let me be very clear. And BJ would say it. Anybody who used to watch me earlier, when Odoms was coaching and Chennis Berry was that offensive coordinator, I used to say, my slogan for Southern was, if you think you can run the ball, you can't, because Southern does it 10 times better. And the reason they did it was the eye movement, the creativity on how they ran the ball. And Southern has some great offensive lines. The first 2 years I was in the SWAC, there was not an offensive line better than Southern University. That has now changed, and it has gone away. And plus, the creativity in running the ball is not Mark Frederick's. It's not his strong suit. So listen, it doesn't matter how good a kid, like, I don't understand. Guys, listen. It does not matter how good Trey Holly is. If he does not have an offensive line, the kid is not going anywhere. He can run a 4-3, a 4-2, or whatever you're asking him. But if he cannot get any blocking, if everybody stacks the box, if you cannot throw the ball, Trey Holly is not going to be that good. I'm being honest. It's not a knock on Trey Holly. It takes a lot more than just Trey Holly being good for him to be effective. You need the offensive line to block. You need an offensive coordinator to disguise what you're doing, because I'm telling you, Trey Holly in the backfield with Woods and you do inside zone is only going to work for so long. I'm telling you that right now. It's only going to work for so long, especially if you cannot throw the ball. People are going to do it accordingly. They're going to stop you accordingly. But anyway, so that's my Trey Holly thing. Moving on. So with the Porter Report, and we're talking about who's buying and who's the market. These teams should be beating down Marquey Adams' door, flat out. If Morgan State does not pick up, I don't care what Damon Wilson said in media day. I don't give a damn what them coaches are talking about on Twitter. You have not had a quarterback in the last 3 years you've been there. You need to be selling Marquey Adams crab, shrimp, Baltimore Harbor, all the black women he can want, and an NIL deal. You need a quarterback. If Damon Wilson wants to keep his job and not see Shady McCoy at his, because Shady done effed up the Howard job. If he don't want to see that, he need to go. He need to call Marquey Adams, right? Alcorn needs a quarterback. I do not care what you want to hear about how good Cedric Thurton, Thomas, blah, blah, blah. You need a quarterback. You don't have one. You don't. I like Pretty Eyes, but I haven't seen much of them, right? Lawrence, I haven't seen much of him, right? You got another kid, haven't seen much of him. You got you got Gales. He hadn't done much with an offense. So, again, you need a dynamic player at that position. You do. You haven't had one since Felix. And then Aaron Allen came, and you balled out, but you let go of the white boy to get Gales, who he's supposed to be running this high box speed offense. That shit's in like the school zone. It's so slow. It's so bad. Like, what are we talking about? I remember the interview he did with the Golden Helmet. Oh, we want to be super fast, and we're going to go race car speed, and, we're going to have a play every 3 seconds. My boy, like, you're driving Miss Daisy, because that shit's ass. Like, it's ass. The offense has been ass. The only highlight you have is the running back and Macon. Macon is special. He wasn't special as a quarterback, but he is a special talent at wide receiver. That kid is good. The running back, Woods, great. You need a quarterback to make it all work. Marquey Adams, you should be offering right now, today. Texas Southern, I love KJ Cooper, but KJ Cooper has been hurt. He's injury prone. You need competition. You need a guy. Listen, Bethune-Cookman, Little Bill, listen. Need I say more? You on your final leg. You seen what Cam Ransom can do. You lost to a Division II school. You might as well go get Marquey Adams. Figure it out with them. Go be dynamic. You got a great sophomore running back coming back from the freshman to the sophomore. You can find some receivers. You need to go get Marquey Adams. Listen, and at the end of the day, Grambling, if Mickey Joseph wants to run the wing T and he wants to do all this power O type stuff, hey, go get Marquey Adams. Add a little dynamic to the flavor. You know what I'm saying? Add a little spice to the spice. You know what I'm saying? Well, not really spice because it's gonna be boring with just running, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just add something to the spice, right? So again, Morgan and Alcorn and Bethune and Grambling, this should be a no-brainer. Okay, this shouldn't be. Listen, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Like, it should not be that hard to go. He should have an offer from you already, especially Morgan State. Like, for God's sakes. Like, I would fire Damon Wilson if he came into the season and he had quarterback problems again. I'm like, 4 years, and we have the same issue and you can't get over the hump. You need to be gone, my boy. Like, what are we doing? And again, Damon, and I said this, and I said this flat out. I said Damon Wilson would be the only coach. If he got fired tomorrow, I would not have any problem with any school recycling him because he's a damn good coach. But again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And I don't know what Damon is doing, but he's living on the insanity line because for the last 3 years, you've had a great defense and you had an anemic offense. And now you got the offensive player of the year with a running back. You got the defensive player of the year with your linebacker. All I'm saying is I think you might need a quarterback. But what do I know? Hey, listen. Year 2 with Alcorn, I hear about all this. We beefed up. We bigger, we're stronger, we're this, we're that. I don't give a damn. If you cannot throw the ball, what are we doing? Southern in the same predicament. All that inside zone left, inside zone right, that Mark Frederick special, right? You got to be able to throw the ball. You got to be able to throw the freaking ball. And that's the day and age that we're in right now, and they got to get it right. So when I say who's in the market, listen, those teams are the ones in the market, and you got to make sure that you're doing the best you can to get the best talent. Now, I will say this. Let me go back to my slide. I will say this. I got to give credit where credit is due, right? Because the one thing that you can always count on Powell State, they are not opposed to adding talent. Listen, man, I hate this. I hate to say it, right? But at the end of the day, they recruit their ass off. They really, really do. And when they see talent, they go get talent. It ain't no if, it ain't no hesitation, it ain't no none of that. It's, hey, that's a talented player. We gonna get him. That's very simple. And they really, honestly, I think Jacoby and Morgan got like another year, if I'm not mistaken. So they really don't even need him. But again, TC being TC, Coach O being Coach O, why deny us talent? Like, Jacoby and Morgan might get hurt. Marquey Adams is not a bad backup. You get what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where you can't even knock it because you're like, hey, football is a dangerous game. People go down all the time. People die every day, B. People die every day, B. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta give him kudos for that, and as well as Southern. You see what Fredericks did. You see Fredericks, Mark Fredericks. That's OC. Anyway, but that's where they're at with that. So at the end, you know what? I thought PV should get in that race too. I was gonna put PV down. I wouldn't be mad at it. You know, I think Tremaine is all about transfers. He's not mad at it, so I'm not mad at it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps on that. I was a little hesitant because I didn't know if they might have had somebody, but again, you know, Marquey Adams is not a bad backup. It's not a bad guy to bring in for competition. You get what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, I'm not mad at it at all, right? So I like it per se. I like it per se. Now, let me talk about my guy though. Let me talk about my guy because you know what I'm saying. Listen, I know a lot of y'all MEAC people. Y'all been dogging me because y'all say, oh, Delaware State. This ain't your grandmama's Delaware State. This ain't your grandmama's Delaware State. This ain't your granddaddy's Delaware State. This is the Deshaun Jacksons. And I'm telling you,
I hear everybody talking about what they gonna be. I got high hopes for you niggas. We gonna see.
I'm telling you right now. Do not play with Deshaun Jackson and act like that boy ain't got no talent. Okay? Like that boy ain't got no talent. Listen, I was going to do a MEAC Media Day review. I'm going to still try to do it. I might not, whatever. But let me just say this. Because first of all, I have a problem with people jumping on, all right, Al Gore's internet and saying, oh my God, Deshaun Jackson had a polo. That wasn't even professional. Like, where's his suit? He don't need no damn suit. Why don't you ask Michael Vick where his Norfolk lapel was at? He ain't have no Norfolk hat. He ain't have no Norfolk lapel. He ain't have no Norfolk colors. That Bama looked like a funeral director in that all-black suit, but ain't nobody say nothing about that. But y'all want to talk about my boy Deshaun Jackson coming in there with a nice polo, juried up, glossing on him. You know, you mad because I'm styling on you. You mad because I'm wilding on you. If you had better jewelry, I would stop. You mad. Why y'all mad? Okay? He was in a polo. His team was in a polo. Everybody matching. That's a hard thing to do in the SWAC. You got Southern with 62 Blues on when they go to their media day. You got Mickey Joseph looking like he should be in the Diddy shiny suit video. Been around the world and nah, take that. Looking like the Tin Man off the Wizard of Oz in his suit. What? But that nobody want to talk about that. Got his players in all black, look like they're going to a funeral. Nobody want to talk about that though. Right? So again, the polos, I ain't had no problem with it. Right? Didn't have a problem with the polos. Listen, if you did not watch, hold on, my wife texted me. She asked me what I want from McDonald's. You know I get that spicy chicken deluxe. Gotta get a large Sprite with a fry. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my issue, right? That's my issue. So I'm gonna get to the quarterback. We gonna get to the quarterback. I just want to kind of level the playing field, right? If you did not watch MEAC Media Day, right? He talks about his energy is infectious. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, Deshaun Jackson just wants to be there. Like you feel the energy. I'm not saying that Vic doesn't want to be at Norfolk. I think there's some issues going on at Norfolk that is pissing him off, and he's frustrated. I think he's frustrated dealing with the nigga stuff, right? I really believe that. But I think Deshaun likes his AD. He loves the staff that he's on, right? And there's a camaraderie in the, like, you just feel it, man. Like, I can't explain it, right? I can't explain it, but all I am telling you is this, that culture is built with a chemistry and an effect. Like, it's infectious. Like, Trey Oliver is infectious, right? TC Taylor, Coach O, they are infectious, right? Eddie Robb and the defensive mindset is infectious, right? Like, Willie Simmons, all those guys have a chemistry. They have an aura. They have a je ne sais quoi that you can't explain it, but you like, man, I would run through a wall for those guys. And I believe Deshaun Jackson is one of those guys. Same thing with Deion. It's infectious. Like, you just want to do well. And I really believe people are sleeping on Delaware State. So hopefully they can overcome some of these issues. I hope that the Bennett kid is a good fit for Del State. I hope that he can follow and lead these young guys, because there's a lot of young guys on this team that are going to be asked to make steps and make strides because again, it is hard to take a losing program and turn the belief into we can win. And the thing with Del State, and the thing that Deshaun Jackson has to overcome really, really quickly, is a loser's mindset, right? Like, the kids that have been at Delaware State for a long, long periods of time, he has to get through to them, and they have to know that they can win and believe that they can win. But once they cross that threshold and once they step forth and they start winning, you're going to have a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous team, because I believe they're going to be talented, but can they bring that talent together to get over the hump of just believing? And I'm going to say this. Yes, I believe Deshaun Jackson is the face and he is the lead man, but Coach Travis Clark, I'm telling you, I think he is like the drink. He's the spoon that stirs it all up, because he has the pedigree of building programs. He has the pedigree of rebuilding programs and getting them up and coming and getting them running again and putting. I really believe that he is the linchpin to this whole situation of it going forward and being successful. But back to Caden Bennett, I do believe that he can get the job done for them. Again, right, like my boy Blue put out, Sacramento State, Caden Bennett has transferred to Delaware State. Bennett posted 2,192 passing yards, 16 passing touchdowns, 577 rushing yards, and 6 rushing touchdowns in 2023. He led the Hornets to the second round of the FCS playoffs and an FBS win over Stanford. Listen, it's not a lot of SWAC quarterbacks that can say they beat a Power 4 program. That's all I'm saying. It's not a lot of FCS quarterbacks that can say, "Hey, I've beat a Power 4 program." Now, let me say this. All right? This is the part where this is word on the street. Word on the street is that he's a little bit of a diva. Most quarterbacks are, and that he has a potential to be a bad locker room guy. Now, that could be circumstantial with his time at Sac State, but I do believe that Deshaun Jackson is going to rein all that in. Coach Travis Clark is going to rein all that in, right? Because again, they from Cali. They used to dealing with knuckleheads. They used to dealing with kids that want to pop off and do crazy stuff. Again, talent. Listen. 8 times out of 10, the most talented kid is going to be a knucklehead. Come on, man. Listen, all you old heads in my chat, all you young guys in my chat, you've all had guys that you went to school with that was walking the hallways that were super talented, but they didn't have the grades. They kept getting in trouble, had to go to alternative school, all type of crazy stuff. Everybody can name a kid that was super talented that couldn't get their head on straight, couldn't pass an ACT, couldn't get a scholarship or do all the stupid stuff, right? So at the end of the day, getting those minds and those kids together, I do believe that they'll be able to kind of mesh it up, kind of bring it together, and have it on one accord going in the right direction. So it is what it is, right? It just is what it is. But again, like my boy Blue said, it's not a bad backup. All right, it's not a bad backup. Caden Bennett, not a bad backup. All right, I'm gonna try to do a film breakdown on Caden Bennett, just kind of see what he's about. I've seen a couple stuff, but you know me, I like to watch the full game, not no highlight clips or whatever. So I'm gonna go check him out, see what he got, see what he's working with, and no Diddy, and we'll go from there, and hopefully I can make that happen if I got the time to. Now, last but not least, let's talk a little Tennessee State. Now listen, man. Can we talk about this real quick? Can we talk about how crazy this coaching staff is? Can we talk about how crazy this coaching staff is?
Goddamn.
Like, Coach Barlow was like, I'm not trying to lose to these white people. Okay? He said, I'm going in my bag, I'm getting my Rolodex, and I'm calling everybody I know that got some time. We gonna get this together. I'm gonna pull up the slide of this dog. Like, bro. Greg Williams is your defensive coordinator, right? Shannon Harris, UFL champion, is your co-offensive coordinator. Torino Morgan, the head coach at Edward Waters, who just left, is your co-OC and your running back coach. Probably going to be your recruiter down in Florida. Russ Ernfield used to coach at Tennessee State and has been an O-line coach at Tennessee State and had people drafted in the O-line at Tennessee State. Dexter Jackson, safeties coach. Gerard Cruz, cornerbacks. Deion Harris, defensive line. Cedric Thornton, linebackers coach. Now, with Cedric Thornton, let me tell you this, right? I like Cedric Thornton as a linebacker coach. I do not like Cedric Thornton as a defensive coordinator. I think it is what it is. But to have, can I say this again? To have Greg Williams as your defensive coordinator, do you know how crazy that is? I'm saying to y'all, do y'all know how crazy that is? To have Greg Bounty Hunter Williams as your defensive coordinator, everybody and their mama gonna be blitzing. He gonna be blitzing he gonna be like the Bama on Remember the Titans, okay? He gonna be like, you blitz all night. If they gain another yard, I'm taking every last one of you out. You will make them remember the night they played the Titans. That is Greg Williams in a nutshell. For real. Right? That is Greg Williams in a nutshell. He's that white man off Remember the Titans when they was just going crazy and blitzing Bamas all damn day. It is that. Listen, them first three, I need y'all to think about this. You got, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe Greg Williams has either won a Super Bowl, has been a part of Super Bowl teams, right? But then you got Shannon Harris, who literally just won the XFL, UFL, whatever it's called. He's the champion of the DC Defenders. The coach, Team Barlow, just left. Yes, he coached them to a championship. And he's your co-offensive coordinator. And then Torino Morgan was a head coach at Edward Waters, recruiting like crazy in the Florida area. Now he's up at Tennessee State. Listen, man. Listen, I'm not going to say who said they got Tennessee State winning 2 games, Josh. I'm not going to say that because I don't like snitching, right? But it just so happened that he does a show nightly, and it might have HBCU in front of it, right? But again, I'm not here to snitch on nobody who said Tennessee State is only going to win 2 games. I'm not a snitch, okay? I'm just saying somebody might have a show that airs on nightly and has HBCU in front of it. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I'm not betting on that. I'm not betting on that. 2 games? 2 games? They going to get 1 from NCAT. NCAT's a guaranteed dub. They ass. They could at least beat North Carolina A&T. Give them a dub off that alone. Now the rest of the whites, I can't help them. I can't help them. You know, I can't help them at all. But what I can do is say, hey, they can at least beat NCAT. That's a guaranteed 1 right there. 1. That's whew. Thank you, Ronald. I thought he was a head coach or a defensive coordinator for some. All right, it says Greg Williams, defensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints 2009 team that won the 2010 Super Bowl. So, listen, I don't know, right? I don't know what type of players they got. I do not know. I do know that Reggie Barlow is a great recruiter, right? He has a great eye for talent. He's a great recruiter. I know. Listen, that this spring, Marquey Adams could be in. Marquey Adams could be in place. Like, listen, I'm telling you, if anybody gonna recruit, Reggie Barlow gonna recruit. All right, he has an eye for talent. He is a really, really, really great recruiter. And Edward and Torino Morgan as well. He's a great recruiter as well. Listen, when you're Edward Waters, you gotta flip over every rock and cross every T and dot every I. And I think him going to Tennessee State and having that Florida connection as well, I think that it's going to be beneficial for Coach Barlow, who is a Florida boy himself. I'm sorry, he's not a Florida boy. I think he's from Alabama, but he did play at Jacksonville, so that does kind of make him like a semi-Florida boy. You know what I'm saying? I think he's from Alabama, right? But at the end of the day, I'm curious to see what this looks like for Tennessee State, and I hope Coach Barlow does big things. Dexter Jackson also is a Super Bowl. Are you freaking that? That's crazy. You're lying. That's crazy. Dexter Jackson is also a Super Bowl MVP. That's crazy. Oh my God. Barlow's from Alabama State. Yeah, we all know that. That's crazy work. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. That is a talented staff. Listen, they could compete with anybody. Staff-wise, you're talking about some resumes on here. That's crazy work. Listen. Coach Barlow said, I'm coming for. And again, right, I think Coach Barlow, the reason why Coach Barlow assembled the staff the way that he did is because, again, he's not in the SWAC nor is he in the MEAC. Right? You got to, see, I'm about to make somebody mad. He's playing real football against real teams. And he has a playoff possibility. He can't just beat up on his cousins and say, hey, I'm walking into my Celebration Bowl, stepbrother kissing my stepsister, right? Like, it's not that. It's not that. He can't just win 8 games and say, oh, I'm walking into my bowl game with my stepsister. Like, that's not what he's doing, right? He has to go out and beat teams, and if he gets into the playoffs, has to go out to other teams and beat teams. So what do you got to go do? I got to go get the best staff possible because I got to recruit the best players. I got to go compete against some of the best teams in the country, right? And if I want to make it to the FCS playoffs and show myself approved, because again, if Eddie George can do it, Reggie Barlow can do it as well. I truly believe that, right? So again, if Coach Barlow is saying, "Hey, Tennessee State is Tennessee State's his thing, and that's his lane, and he wants to take Tennessee State to back to where Tennessee State used to be in the glory days," he's assembled a staff to do it. He really, really has. Now, what those players look like, we shall see. What those trenches look like, we shall see. But half the battle is getting a staff on hand because you're only as good as your staff, and he's got it. All right. So listen, it's gonna be a fun season. Okay, can we just say that? Can we all? Coach Morgan wanted my son last year. Kyon Whitehurst too. Woo-wee. Oh, Coach Morgan wanted my son last year. Kylon Whitehurst, 215, 6'3", outside linebacker. Woo! Right? It's going to be a great season. It really is. I think there's going to be a lot of parity. I'm really excited for everything to kind of get going and start this cycle, because we'll see it when the rubber meets the road. Because at the end of the day, they said the games have to be played, right? And I'm gonna say this because I want to do a MEAC and SWAC challenge, preview for the game as the closer as it gets, and I also want to talk about the HBCU Go TV schedule. So I'm gonna probably do those. But at the end of the day, the Tennessee State and Alabama A&M game, and they're home and home, that's going to be a great series. That is going to be an awesome series. I can't wait to see how that plays out. And then on top of that, I want to see what this SWAC and MEAC challenge is going to look like, because again, I know a lot of people are saying, and I want to be very clear, I don't think Southern's going to win. But I remember a time when Alcorn walked into the MEAC and SWAC challenge with Felix Harper and them boys, and everybody and their mom. And this was like my first year, my first full SWAC year, and everybody assumed that Alcorn was just going to walk in there, beat the dog snot out of NCCU, and go home. Right? That's when Felix Harper starting the A, finishing A. That was the whole mantra, right? And they lost. So all I'm saying is we've seen some crazy and wacky things. Now, do I believe in Southern? No. Okay? Now, I'm just keeping a buck with you. But it's possible. That's all I'm going to say. It's possible. So it is what it is. Man, guys, I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always, man. I ain't going to hold y'all up. I told you I got to get in and get out. I ain't want to keep y'all long or waiting too long. I'm open the call lines up. Yeah, it's late. Y'all, a couple members might want to call in. I'm going to open the call lines up. You got about 5 minutes. So if you want to call in, 518-263-8124, 518-263-8124. Yeah. That punt return was wild. I remember that with Codrington. Yeah, that was crazy. Those are some good times. I do remember that. Let me see. 2021. Man, it's been a while. I remember the fact 2020 started in A, getting dumped in A. Yeah, that was a crazy time. And I didn't even know. I was still calling them North Central back then. I didn't even know what North Carolina Central was. It was I was like North Central. The MEAC in rushing with over 104 yards per game and 18 touchdowns, one of 6 players with over 1,000 yards. Sounds like he was very loyal to me. Who is he talking about? Who are we talking about right here? Who are we talking about, Michael? It says he graduated from NCCU. The 2020 season was canceled, and in 2021 he redshirted. 2022 he was a backup. 2023 he's a backup. Graduated in 2024 he became a starter and led the MEAC in rushing And sounds like he's very loyal to me. Are you talking about the kid that went to Virginia? Are you talking about the kid that went to Virginia? Bamas don't want to be there. Bamas don't want to be there. I'm telling you, the only reason Patrick's over there is because he was like, oh, I'll give you an extra $100,000 more. It's the only reason. That's the only reason he's over there. Oh, I'll give you another 100,000. Oh, okay, bet. Bro, don't get me started. Don't get me started. All right, nobody's calling in. Sorry, I'm going to get up out of here. Man, I appreciate y'all as always, man. Until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holla. God bless.